This is Venezuela. It is an almost country just north of the equator in South America, what with its lush tropical/malarial jungles, postcard-esque malarial plateaus, and the world's highest uninterrupted malarial waterfall, Angel Falls, which chucks its waters off the face of a cliff and down over 3,000 feet of economically depressed malarial atmosphere directly into the slurpy cake hole of almost President Maduro, Nicolas Maduro. Almost had it. Nah, I had it. Not pictured here are the 30 million citizens of Venezuela, and that is most likely due to the two facts that A. No one likes to take a selfie when they're butchering zoo animals for sustenance because Tickledick has mouth vacuumed every carbohydrate since 2013, and B. The only citizens of Venezuela who aren't on land grinding endangered African wildlife into zebra burgers are chilling on the bottom of the ocean after the most hilariously failed military engagement since that Antifa broad tried to Muay Thai clinch a man fist with her face. You see, despite what propaganda, Wikipedia, I said the same thing twice, would have you believe, Venezuela isn't so much a socialist paradise as it is the perfect and incomparable exemplar of socialism on a national scale. Since Maduro's 2013 election, which was, hey, no big deal, contested as fraudulent and a, quote, violation of the Constitution, there have been protests over, quote, high levels of criminal violence, corruption, hyperinflation, and chronic scarcity of basic goods due to policies of the federal government. Once one of the richest countries in the world thanks to oil production, which led to a decades-long explosion in social programs, the election of Maduro led to a 2014 annual inflation rate of 69%, the highest in the world, followed by 181% inflation in 2015, 800% in 2016, over 4,000% in 2017, and about 1,700,000% in 2018. At that point, Tickledick just sorta said, "F it," and quote, essentially stopped producing official inflation estimates. But the International Monetary Fund estimated that by the end of 2019, inflation would reach 10 million%. The Central Bank of Venezuela officially estimates that the inflation rate increased 53,798,500% between 2016 and Maduro's April 2019 moratorium on knowing anything about anything. Following the same timeline of Maduro's dictatorship, presidency, January 2016 saw him decree an economic emergency in order to vastly expand his powers. And a study from later that year found that 15% of Venezuelans were eating, quote, food waste discarded by commercial establishments. In 2017, Maduro barred all opposition from the upcoming election and still only got about 2/3 of the vote. The result was challenged by countries including Argentina, Chile, Colombia, Brazil, Canada, Germany, France, and the United States, who deemed it fraudulent and moved to recognize Juan Guaido as president. However, other countries including China, Russia, Turkey, and Iran, now I get it, have continued to recognize Maduro as president. All this dick tickling by Tickledick, who was by this point offering his beehole as a no-condom-needed portal to the West for China, Russia, Turkey, and Iran, finally pissed off United States President Donald Trump enough to issue an executive order for a complete economic embargo in 2019, followed by a March 2020 indictment of Maduro and several other Venezuelan officials for drug trafficking, followed by Trump straight up declaring war on drug cartels and sending military assets to the Caribbean.
There's thousands of sailors, Coast Guardsmen, soldiers, airmen, Marines involved in this operation. We came upon some intelligence some time ago that the drug cartels, as a result of COVID-19, were going to try to take advantage of the situation and try to infiltrate additional drugs into our country. As we know, there's 70,000 Americans die on an average annual basis to drugs. That's unacceptable. We're at war with COVID-19. We're at war with terrorists. And we are at war with the drug cartels as well. This is the United States military. You will not penetrate this country. You will not get past Jump Street. You're not going to come in here and kill additional Americans. And we will marshal whatever assets are required to prevent your entry into this country to kill Americans. So right now the Navy has marshaled additional gray hull ships from both PACOM and EUCOM and for the Naval Fleet at Norfolk. And they are set sail already, and they are in the Caribbean right now. In addition to that, there's 10 Coast Guard cutters, and there's Special Operations Forces and Security Force Assistance Brigades, along with Air Force reconnaissance aircraft. The bottom line is you're not going to get through. Now is not the time to try to penetrate the United States with illegal drugs to kill Americans. With the United States military, we will defend our country regardless of the cost.
And that pretty much sets the stage for the aforementioned most hilarious military fail of all time, and while it intuitively does involve the Venezuelan Navy, it somewhat counterintuitively does not involve any of those American military assets. In fact, it doesn't involve anyone's military assets except Venezuela, because when you're sitting on, checks notes, 54 million % inflation in 3 years, with 1 of every 6 of your citizens eating trash and the other 5 eating giraffe tartare and lemur piss mimosas, you're probably not going to field the world's most elite military. Which is probably why a cruise ship looks like it's going to do exactly what it's going to do. End the Venezuelan Navy's career.
Here at Career Resume Consulting, we're a full-service executive career firm, and one of the programs we offer is an unlimited interviewing and negotiation coaching program. We give you hours of advanced interviewing techniques, and then we also coach you prior to every single conversation you have in every hiring process until you start your next job. But when I first met John, well, he didn't have that strong of an executive presence.
So John, tell me about how you would work as part of a team. I don't think I understand the question.
So how did it go?
Well, we worked one-on-one with John through multiple hiring processes until he was offered his perfect job, and I was even able to negotiate a few perks.
Take a quick break here for a minute because we got a good one there behind me in them pines, and so I don't think it's going anywhere. So I just want to explain real quick because I get this question a lot. As a lot of people ask me, John, how'd you get so good at monster hunting? And I say, well, I don't just use my eyes and my ears. I also use my sense of smell. And they ask me, well, what are you smelling for? And I tell them, fear. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over there and I'm going to fight it. I think I got some of its heart in my mouth.
From Maritime Executive, quote, an encounter between the Venezuelan patrol vessel GC-23 Niagata and the ice-class expedition cruise ship RCGS Resolute resulted in the patrol vessel's sinking, according to the government of Venezuela. In a statement, Resolute's operator asserted that the cruise ship was approached by an armed Venezuelan Navy vessel at a position about 13 nautical miles off Isla de Tortuga. The Resolute was drifting with one engine idling and one engine undergoing Hold on. The Resolute was drifting with one engine idling and one engine undergoing maintenance. Fucking really? The Resolute was drifting with one engine idling and one engine undergoing maintenance. One engine idling and one engine undergoing maintenance. The Venezuelan vessel ordered Resolute's crew to follow to the port of Puerto Moreno, Isla de Margarita. As this would result in a deviation from the cruise ship's planned voyage, the master sought to confirm with the ship owner before complying with the request. Quick time out to appreciate that this wasn't just some cruise ship. This was just some cruise ship with only one working engine. Anyway, quote, while the Resolute was consulting with the Home Office, the Venezuelan Navy vessel allegedly fired shots and then purposely collided with the Resolute's starboard side. The ramming was repeated, the firm said, until the Venezuelan vessel encountered Resolute's hardened bulbous bow and sustained severe damage. Resolute did not suffer any harm affecting her seaworthiness, and after contacting maritime rescue authorities in Curacao, she waited on scene for 1 hour. After MRCC Curacao released her from the scene, she got underway for Willemstad. Images taken from the pier in Curacao show the damage to Resolute appears relatively minor. Second quick timeout to appreciate that a Venezuelan captain ordered the actual firing of weapons from a Venezuelan naval vessel and was immediately sunk by a half-functional pleasure cruise with a captain in the middle of a casual phone call. Quote, the government of Venezuela identified the lost vessel as the 1,500-ton, 80-meter patrol ship Niaguata, and it has accused Resolute of improperly departing the scene after the casualty. The action of the ship Resolute is considered cowardly and criminal since it did not attend to the rescue of the crew in breach of the international regulations that regulate the rescue of life at sea, the statement reads. The captain of the Resolute, however, said his offers to aid in the rescue of the Venezuelan Targonauts were, quote, left unanswered, and the stranded sailors were all eventually rescued by the military. In a second statement attributed to Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, the Resolute collided with the Niaguata in an act of aggression and piracy. Further, the government speculated that the Resolute might have been transporting mercenaries to attack military bases in Venezuela, unloading them out there on the high seas. From Popular Mechanics, quote, it's not clear what happened here, but one thing is clear, Venezuela's story doesn't add up. For one, Resolute was 13 nautical miles off the coast of Isla de Tortuga, and territorial waters extend up to 12 miles. Plus, an unarmed cruise ship that takes no aggressive action can't be an aggressor and commit piracy against an armed Navy patrol boat. Finally, the Maritime Rescue Coordination Center is a nonpartisan agency that would have records of it giving Resolute permission to leave the scene. So, in summary, the pride of the Venezuelan Navy, knowing there was legit American military vessels in the area and wanting absolutely nothing to do with them, decided to flex on a civilian cruise liner, fired on it without waiting for a reply, then rammed it right in the dick with what they thought was their own pretty badass boat, only to learn the hard way that dick was reinforced for breaking ice on Antarctic sightseeing tours. Unconfirmed eyewitness reports from the deck of the Resolute say that as the cruise ship sailed away from its first combat victory and back to the world of luxury vacations, a single Venezuelan sailor could be seen amongst the debris clinging to what was either a large wooden door or the half-eaten ribcage of an elephant. That's it for today. If you enjoyed this content, please like, share, and subscribe, and if you'd like to see more of it, consider supporting this channel through monthly or one-time donations, or by purchasing a shirt, mug, or the Feels Good Man album, all of which can be done at johnwardcinematics.com. Career Resume Consulting CEO Tammy Kabell will be starting a series of live streams in late April concerning the real state of the job market since the pandemic, how to save your job or get a better one, and how to absolutely crush it in a phone or video interview. Tammy will be answering your questions directly and providing cheat sheets to help you through your job search, and the information will be useful for anyone on any level, not just executives. These will be taking place on Fridays, but if you sign up now, you'll also have access to the replay, so if you're a world champion whose job has been affected by the shutdown, or just want a world champion job in general, use the link in the description to sign up today. And as always, thank you for watching. I'm John Ward, and until next time, remember, you're a world champion. Don't let your memes be dreams.
Holy fucking shit! This fucking timeline is lit all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner. Holy fucking cow! This fucking timeline is all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner.
All of my sexual fantasies involve handcuffs.